Hey there, internets. Welcome to my Saturday night rant from my grandfather's desk. So you remember Jose Alba, that dangerous guy who dared to defend himself with lethal force when his life was threatened? He was a New York bodega owner. Well, Alvin Bragg let him go after a lot of pressure. But don't worry, Alvin Bragg's on the case. He's decided he's going to take down a far more dangerous guy in the form of Donald Trump. Somehow, with his hush money payments, which supposedly he did. I'm not sure how I didn't have this affair, but I paid hush money for it. I don't know how that works. It violates New York law. And it is part of like 32 counts. Darren Bragg's on it. Darren Bragg is one of those prosecutors who is doing things like downgrading felonies to misdemeanors, letting sexual assault arrestees go and get off easy. And of course, charging people who defend themselves with a crime for defending themselves, despite the fact that guy comes behind the counter and assaults the guy, and the guy's girlfriend's reaching through with a knife trying to stab him, and she never gets charged. Because, of course, that would have been horrible to charge her with a crime. I wouldn't double check some of that on the daily, on the internet tonight, and the Daily Mail. As of from an article from just November 27th, 2022, when I just kind of looked for it, and he has downgraded 52% of felonies arrests to misdemeanors. Remember, he said we're going to charge armed robbery as petty larceny. That's the kind of guy he is. While through November in 2022, while murder was down, shooting victims were down, felony assaults were up. The R word that YouTube doesn't like, it was up. Robbery, up 30%. Overall crimes, 26%. In 2022. That was just up through the end of November. So, sounds like Alvin Bragg is working hard. Just like I shared a video on my Facebook about how a guy in Cook County, Illinois, steals a guy's car at gunpoint, races it out of town. He couldn't wait to get sent back to Chicago, back to Cook County, where Kimberly Fox could let him go. Remember, she's the one that tried to let Jesse Smollett, who tried to fake being attacked by MAGA extremists, who turned out to be black themselves, he wanted to go back there, that way he'd be out of jail right off the bat. Now he's facing 20 years, and the DA in the next county is like, not a chance are we letting this guy go. Because he fled across county line, got arrested there, and they busted him there. So, what's this all got to do? Because, Alvin Bragg is protecting the public from Donald Trump. Well, let's be honest about this. Maybe Trump did break the law. Okay? I'm not going to sit here and say don't prosecute, but you better be prosecuting these violent crimes, which he doesn't seem very interested in doing. He doesn't want to seem very, let everyone plea bargain down to some 2018 charges some guys had against him for murder. 4 guys killed this woman's son. One of them pled guilty to second-degree murder, and can I find that out? I think it was this article. According to the Daily Mail article, Manhattan mother Madeline Brame, who lost her Army vet son, Hassan Correa, 35, in a 2018 murder, told the Post she was traumatized by the outcome of the case against the 4 defendants. You hear about this? I would be too. Two got plea deals from Bragg's office. One pleaded guilty to second-degree murder, and the 4th was convicted of gang assault in an earlier trial this month. Pleading down. Sorry, 4 against 1. That sounds like something kind of planned. And he let him off. He's not seeking charges that or any kind of a lot of cases, any kind of incarceration for violent felonies. He's not seeking anything more than a determinate sentence of more than 20 years. So no life without parole for a murderer. But I guarantee you he'll go after the max sentence on Donald Trump. I don't like Trump. Haven't ever. But I will be fair. And it's very obvious that this is, at least in part, politically motivated. Now, maybe he committed a crime. He has a chance. Where Nancy Pelosi has it backwards, thinking it's you get to prove your innocence. No, the state has to prove your guilt. There's so many things that people have let go with prior political opposition, whether it was when the Clintons made off with stuff from the White House, the Bush administration let go, where there's evidence of influence peddling with some of the last-minute pardons that Clinton did. All the stuff surrounding Hillary Clinton and her emails and whatnot, there's always been special treatment. And it's not right. I'm not going to defend it. But they go after Trump on some of this. Now, honestly, I think whether it's going to help Trump or not, it certainly is helping him right in the moment, according to some polling from that article up, my borderline broken computer. According to some polling, he's now got over half of Republicans wanting him again. That, according to the poll, if he gets convicted, that drops. The poll was reported by Newsmax, but the poll was conducted by Yahoo News YouGov poll. According to that poll, 57% to 31% in a one-on-one want him to be the nominee against a one-on-one with DeSantis. If you got a 10 potential candidate field, it's 52% to 21% for DeSantis. Everyone else making up the bottom. I preferred DeSantis before. I prefer DeSantis now. Some of the things that Trump did and said in 2016, he's doing the same kind of stuff again, which is just trying to throw insults, some of which are not true. Some of his proxies are doing so. I was watching Tim Pool the other night, and his future daughter-in-law, Kimberly Guilfoyle, was going on about how DeSantis just always mooched off the taxpayer. I'm sorry, but Ron DeSantis spent 6 years in the Navy. That is not mooching off the taxpayer. Being in the Navy, even if you are the legal advisor to a SEAL team, is not mooching off that's a real job. And then he had a couple of years I couldn't figure out what he did. He did work some other jobs when he was working through college and his law school. All right. He spent 6 years in Congress, and then he went and became governor. That doesn't sound like a career politician to me at this point. Now, if he'd spent 20 years in Congress, then became a governor, you might have an argument. And, yeah, I'm seeing Ron DeSantis do much from Trump's playbook and doing look what I've done. He just signed constitutional carry, or he will be signing constitutional carry into law in Florida. It doesn't allow open carry, only concealed, but I'll take the small win, even if I'm not a fan of permitless carry, but I will take the win. He is doing what he said he would do. He just signed a massive school choice bill. Love it. He has fought against a lot of this woke garbage, trying to get the inappropriate for children books and the critical race theory out of schools. Love it. What'd Trump ever do about that? Now, granted, Ron DeSantis has a massive majority in the legislature behind him. But Trump had control of the Republicans controlled the House and Senate and in 2017 when he took office, and Obamacare is still here. Okay. So I don't really want to hear it on that. I will be fair. My opinion hasn't changed. The insult stuff just pushes me away. But this is absolutely got a political aspect to it. There's no question at that. There's several other things they're trying to get him on, because people from the start have been like, we're going to get him for something. He must be corrupt. Whether he is or is not not necessarily the point. At this point, with this, after this many years since the hush money was paid out, if they're only now going after him, Democrats believe this is somehow going to benefit them. Now, as Matt Walsh pointed out, it depends on if you think they're more corrupt than dumb or more dumb than corrupt. Honestly, I think they're equal parts of each. Unless the idea is get him incarcerated, which I could totally see Alvin Bragg seek incarceration for the felony charge, so he can't campaign. That's the only thing I can imagine that they're after. Keep him from campaigning, possibly from running. So it's kind of in their interest to drag it out. If I was Trump, honestly, I'd be like, get my attorneys, I get myself a massive legal team so you could go to the fastest trial you could. I don't know that it'll bring in more voters, but it certainly brought him a lot more donors. That's something to consider. But here's the really dumb part of this. Let's say they convict Trump or keep him incarcerated where he can't run. So now you have an open Republican primary. I would totally see Ted Cruz throwing his hat in the ring, who I'd be happy to have earn my vote. Ron DeSantis can happily earn my vote. I've always said I give every potential candidate a clean slate running, so of course Trump could earn my vote, but he's pushing me away. You get a clean slate like that, now you've made Trump a martyr without killing him. You've made him a living martyr. Even if so his proxies can say, hey, my dad's unjustly convicted. Some of the candidates running could be trying to say, I'm going to find a way to get him out. This is wrong. But we've seen a lot of this from the left. Not prosecute people like Hillary Clinton for doing far more than they've prosecuted people for in the past with national security issues. Not prosecute known criminals, as Alvin Bragg does and Kimberly Fox does. She was going to let Jussie Smollett go until there was too much public outrage, and prosecute the people harshly like Dinesh D'Souza. So, who got prosecuted for something very minor. So I am not shocked at that. I think realistically, going after it and trying to dig it up is dumb on the part of Democrats, because even if they get what they want, they get Trump in jail. He is a political martyr. Whether you don't have to end him, you only have to make it so that the people who already support him can't have the candidate they want. And they're all going to be scrambling for the next one who says, I'm the most like that person. Or more like that person in reality than Trump is perceived to be. And honestly, Ron DeSantis is that. This is where, again, Trump pushes me away because he's saying, hey, nobody's as good as me. Well, sorry, but Ron DeSantis is looking pretty good. But as far as I'm concerned, this is absolutely does have a political motivation on this guy. We saw it with Kyle Rittenhouse. He was found not guilty, but only after a massive and very public trial. The publicness of that trial probably helped Kyle Rittenhouse, because you saw the kind of ridiculousness that they had and the way that the media would lie. We had, during the Kyle Rittenhouse trial, NPR, MSNBC claim that it was testified to in court that Kyle Rittenhouse shot somebody with his hands up. You've watched the video of the courtroom proceedings, and the guy said he did not have his hands up. The video of the events that night showed he did not have his hands up. He was pointing his weapon at Kyle Rittenhouse. And which are we to believe? So Alvin Bragg is absolutely a bad prosecutor, and this is what you get in New York, San Francisco, Chicago. When you vote for these prosecutors that say, I'm going to take it easy on criminals, you get the rising crime rates. When you vote for people like this is what you get. But I have no sympathy, because you voted for this. You voted for a DA more concerned about going after hush money paid to a porn star than you are about people who committed violent felonies. Seems to me that you might want to rethink how you vote when it comes to what kind of a DA you want. Someone that lets murderers off easy, or someone who goes after hush money. Because that's ultimately what this is really about. So take that for what it's worth. Trump is going to effectively be a political martyr if the Democrats convict him, jail him. I have no doubt that that's what they will try to do. They have other opportunities to also go after him. They might have him so tied up in court, even if he comes out innocent, that he can't run. Wouldn't shock me. I don't think they're going to try and hold him without bail as a flight risk, but they certainly will try and drag out the trial so that it just takes him from being able to campaign. I have no doubt about that. They'll want to drag this out a long time unless they think they can jail him. And if they jail him, they want to jail him, of course, enough that he can't campaign. So either way, I think the Democrats have shot themselves in the foot, whether Trump's the nominee or not, because he's either going to be the kingmaker from behind bars, or he will be even more likely to be the nominee. Honestly, I don't know how it would come out in the general. Again, I said that in 2016. I thought Trump was going to win in 2020, but 2016, I really didn't think he had the ability. So we'll see about that. I'm not going to be firm on that at this point. So we'll just leave it at that, and until then, you all take care.